Hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger, and I just got done playing around testing this. This is a buffer that I built, and then here's the noise gate. Here's the amplifier or preamp unit. The power amp is not to be shown, but this is what's going to make up this amplifier. The guitar jack, the buffer to boost the signal, then it goes to this noise gate to keep it quiet. This is the preamp, which is all the distortion and the equalizer. This is a Marshall, like a Marshall Super Lead. Jfet version of the preamp section of that amp. The power amp is it's already mounted in the chassis now. I had reached out to this other company called Electric Effects. They have a $6, it was on sale from $9, noise gate PCB. Noise gate just shuts down the signal and keeps it quiet. I said, hey, your $6 was on sale for $6. I was like, send me that $6 noise gate. I will do some I'll do an unboxing, and then I'll do a quote-unquote commercial where I go on my YouTube channel and show off everything you carry, all your cool effects PCBs, because they're really cool. And then when I build it, I'll do a video, and it'll be in my amp, and I'll mention that when this amp I built, it's got this noise gate which keeps it quiet, and I got that. Because see, the thing is that noise gates are they don't have them on this buying a printed circuit board and making your own. There's two on the market, and the other one, I have it here. I bought it because this company didn't respond back to my email. They just, like 2 weeks later, this just showed up. So I was like kind of out of spite. Like both of these projects have one or maybe two weird components that I don't stock. This one was a $5 Vectral, which is an LED and a photo sensor combined. It's worth maybe 50 cents, but they charge you 10 bucks for it because they know only guitar pedal people use them. Then there's a certain type of transistor called a Jfet and a 5.1 volt Zener diode, which is something I don't stock. But the part number on this, it's a transistor here. The part number on that particular transistor was 2N5485. Now, we stock a 2N5458. So when I, at 3 in the morning, after 3 glasses of wine, in my mind, we have the part. So I click. And it was $8. It's a good deal. The workmanship is really good. It's very clean. We hand test every component before they get soldered in. And I used shielded cabling, and I glued that to keep it really... This is a ground that goes in between the two shielded cables. So, of course, it doesn't work. It's passing audio, but it won't clamp. The noise gate won't clamp. I tried different Jfets because I've got some different Jfets, and the MPF 102 made it clamp. If you turn the knob all the way down, it clamps, so you nudge it up and then it stops clamping. So it tells me that there's nothing wrong with the circuit. What it is this Jfet is a fake. If you look at it, it's made by Fairchild, and this is a really good fake. It kind of looks like a legitimate Fairchild, but it's not. It's slightly different. The font is smaller. It's the color is off, and the seller I'm gonna call, depending on how this all pans out. I'm gonna try to get my money back. But the seller is an American seller. So I'm making this video for two reasons. I want to show you a cool little tool that I built that can help you in identifying Jfet pinout when you have you've bought some Jfets and you've got the project going and it's not working, and you think maybe your pinout is incorrect. What you can do is take your transistor and take these 3 legs here and pop them into this little thing. You build this. This is a transistor socket that's got 3 pieces of wire soldered onto it with 3 pins. These are breadboard wires, and I've sanded them down a little bit to make them fit really nice in the transistor sockets. As I do not solder my transistors in, I solder sockets in. so I can just plop them in. And in this case, let's say what it calls for is a DSG, and what I ended up with is a DGS. So then I can take this, okay, this is a D, swap this around over here, and then that'll give me GSD instead of DGS, or however you mix them up. You do it with a pencil and a piece of paper, and you write down what this is calling for. And I've had it where I just don't know, where I bought the transistors and I got fakes, and they had a little F on there, but they weren't Fairchild. And what they were, this was confused. It was mixed up. And when I ended up playing around with it and trying every possible combination, all of a sudden it starts working. So then I got to write that down, and I actually bend the legs of the actual transistor and solder it in there, and Bob's your uncle. Now, I've had the Spitfire Dead Astronaut design. That was a Jfet project that failed. I had two Leica fuzzes, which is very complicated, Millennium bypass build. Very difficult to source all the weird parts, ferrite beads and all this. And that killed me. It was like 6 months of frustration, and that's what began like about 2-3 years ago. Ever since then, every single thing I build doesn't work. I have to build like 3 or 4 of them before it'll work right. I can order PCBs, and then they'll be like, oh, those PCBs didn't work that we sent you, but we're not going to refund your money. And then getting the thing that I'm here to talk about, you know, I wanted to share this invention, which is, it's just a socket, 3 transistor sockets with 3 different color wires soldered onto it. These wires happen to have these pins. Okay, and those pins make it real easy to slide that in. So let's say it was looking for ABC, and this was a BAC. This transistor, the pinout was BAC. I could take these two and flip-flop them and plug it in like that, and then it would work. And then I would write that on this bag of these transistors. This pinout is BAC, and then I would know. So the reason, the other thing, the main point of this video is when you're going to buy a PCB or commit to building one of these circuits, you need to make sure, does it use Jfets? Okay, and if it does, you need to make sure that they're available. And by available, I don't mean going on eBay. You got to be able to get them from a reputable supplier, which means Mouser, DigiKey, Small Bear, or Tata. And even Tata's been selling fakes. So they had one guy that built this that the only way he got it to work was flip-flopping it. And he claimed that his parts had an F on them. So that tells me it's not a Fairchild part, because Fairchild doesn't screw up their pinouts. And at least he got his working. I'm at a point now where I ordered a replacement, and then I went and looked at the picture, and it had a suffix, a number D, and the one that I needed was an E. So I had to go in there, oh, I ordered the wrong one. And now I've got to try to get my money back on these two, which was like, I don't know, it was $6 or $9, something with shipping. The guy's in Oklahoma, okay, and he's got an American flag, and that's why I'm here. That's the point of this video. Do not trust this motherfucker. I'm going to find out who he is. We're going to talk about it. I got to see how this all plays out, but for now I'm just going to say he's got an American flag in the picture of the transistor. Some of the transistors you can clearly see they're not Fairchild. The F looks like an S. It's just like some drunk did it. It looks like a fake, okay? And this is because it's not working. So the fact that I cannot deal with the fact that I'm still doing this hobby and falling for this shit. And like, why this guy is selling these PCBs when you can't get this fucking part anywhere. It's not at DigiKey, it's not at Mouser, it's not at Small Bear, it's not at Tata. And the ones that are on eBay are fakes. So I've got a substitution. It's a 21681E or something coming. It cost me another $5, and I just can't believe this guy. Like, okay, first off, when I clicked to buy this, I thought we had the part, and then the two numbers were switched. What we have in stock is a 2N5458. What I needed was a 2N5485, a little switcheroo. So when it came, it was, oh, PD screwed up. We need to order that. And then I look and, oh, it's an American seller. And the picture looked like a legitimate Fairchild. And then when I get it, it's not. It's a fake. I mean, I know because it's not working and because we hand tested every single component that went into this build and it's not working. That's how I know it's a fake. And because of reading other people who got burned buying the same things. There's all kinds of build reports where people bought this. So I don't know how the guy over at Pedal PCB in good faith can continue selling this, knowing that you can't get this part, and the people that are going to buy them, you're going to see it's available from an American trusted seller with a great 98.6 reputation. You're going to buy it, you're going to go through the whole process, and then it's not going to fucking work. So that guy needs to put in some more transistor substitution or put in a warning. These guys that sell the PCBs, they don't do that. They just sell the PCBs, and if you can't get it working, tough titty. That's where I come in, to let you know, don't ever go through with a Jfet project unless you know that the through-hole Jfet is readily available and they're not fakes. And that means you have to be able to find them at Mauser, DigiKey, Small Bear, and Tata. When everybody's got them, then you know that they're not fakes. Okay? Now the alternative is buying, like for the J201s, they have these SMT versions, and I think the 2N5457, they have those too. And you can solder on this daughter board, which is this tiny little board, and then there's 3 clips. So you got to buy the clips. I couldn't find those for the longest time, and they cost me some money. The daughter boards were like $1 a piece. I ended up getting them 4 for 65 cents at Delic PCB, and that's a great deal. And then I bought a bunch of Jfets from Germany, and I was like, okay, my Jfet blues are over. And then I got suckered in because PD, at the end of the night, 3 glasses of wine, didn't wake up empty and go get the fucking Jfets. We need to make a master list so I know what we have. But I'm making this video now so this won't happen again. Because I am not committing to any more Jfet projects unless I know for a fact I can readily get those Jfets. And it's shame on me for falling into this hole again. I emailed my one buddy. Maybe he has one for me. I hope I can get this to work, but I'm telling you, I think the Vactrol for this is going to show up. This is what's going in the amp, and this one, the MXR, the muffler from Pedal PCB, is going to get Widlard. Bob Widlar, look him up. He's got a great life story. He was a brilliant engineer. I believe he designed the op amp, the LM741, the first one. That was him, the first chip amp. He used to do this thing when there was a bad component or a bad board. Anything that pissed him off, he had a 5-pound claw hammer and he would take it outside and convert it to powder. Because oftentimes people would take some bad experimental board and just throw it back in a drawer, and then you would take parts off of it to reuse, and you wouldn't know maybe that part was bad. So he was famous for taking stuff and converting it into powder, and that's the only way I'm going to feel good about this. Now, it represents $10 for the part, and then what is it, 10 bucks worth of parts, and then all the time. This is something I've been thinking about nonstop for a month, and that's where my personality conflict or whatever defect is wrong with me, where now I feel like I did something really wrong. I feel like I went and screwed the pooch because this fucking circuit doesn't work. So part of my process in dealing with that is making this video and venting on you guys. So I appreciate you tolerating me acting appropriately and rant and rave and come on here and yell and scream at you because you didn't do anything wrong. But I'm here to tell you, please don't make the same mistakes that I've made, because I don't feel that it's right that this motherfucker in Oklahoma City has got his American flag with his fake Jfets. And Pedal PCB, I'm calling you out too. What the fuck are you selling this thing for? Nobody can build it right. If you look at the build reports, it's page after page after page after page of people who couldn't get it working. And then here comes Speedy. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna get a noise gate. Dun, dun. We got that 58. Hey, Gusty. Oh, that's Kita. Anyway, you guys, wish me luck on this amp. It's going to happen either way, and I'll tell you what, I've got a fucking noise gate pedal. So if worse comes to worse, anyway, I got to test this Thundy and get some sleep. I've been up for 2 days, so you caught me in rare form. I drank coffee today, and I've just had it fucking up to here. So you saw it, a complete breakdown. I'm sure this will be on all those sites where they love making fun of me. They re-upload whenever I lose my temper. I see it on some other site and with their comments. Or they'll repeat stuff that I said to make it like funny. Okay. Enough of me making a complete ass out of myself for today. This is what I deserve, right? I'm such a self-centered. I don't give. I just take. I'm not considerate. I'm evil and scheming. And I get over on the next guy. It's just the opposite. And I'm the dupe. I'm the one who's bending over and taking it dry. Just because I'm a fucking a moron and I trust people. I see that American flag and, you know, I think, oh, F means Fairchild. You know. F for fake. Alright, you guys. Take care of yourselves, hug your pets, and peace.